From broken bones to injuries that ended players' careers, there have been some shockingly bad injuries in the history of the NBA. An injury can truly change the entire career path of any player. Welcome back to Tube Talk Media, where we give you the scoop on all things NBA. If you missed our last video on the magic of Luka Doncic, go back and check it out. Luka is the NBA's rising star. Today, we take a look at the top 10 most gruesome and nastiest injuries in NBA history. Smash that subscribe button, it's about to get crazy. Number 10. Greg Oden's left knee. Greg Oden is one of the biggest draft busts in NBA history, but it is slightly harsh on Oden because it's not like he was a bum in the league. Oden ruptured and dislocated his right patella in December 2009 after an awkward landing. It was an injury that Oden never really recovered from, as he had constant injuries in that knee. It was so bad, the former #1 overall pick started just 66 games in his entire NBA career. Number 9. Kevin Love's dislocated shoulder. The reason why LeBron James had no chance against the Golden State Warriors in the 2015 NBA Finals was he had no Kevin Love alongside him. In the first round of the 2015 playoffs, Love got tangled up with Kelly Olynyk. The Boston Celtics center ripped Love's arm and dislocated his shoulder, a brutal injury that ended Love's season and the Cavs' chances. Number 8. Yao Ming's multiple injuries. For a long time, Yao Ming looked like the future of the NBA, but his left foot turned out to be a real issue. Yao broke it not once, not twice, but 3 times. A hairline fracture in 2009 turned out to end Yao's career. It was so bad that Yao had very little feeling in his left foot long after retiring. It was a heartbreaking loss for Rockets fans.
Until today, I feel this foot is almost like completely numb on the top of my foot right there.
Number 7. Baron Davis knee injury. Baron Davis was nearing the end of his NBA career when he joined the New York Knicks, but many expected him to make a big impact on the team having returned from injury. But while dribbling down the court in Game 4 of the first round in the 2012 playoffs, Davis shattered his knee, causing a tear of his patellar tendon. If that wasn't bad enough, he completely tore both his ACL and his MCL, or medial collateral ligament. Davis never played in the NBA again, a sad way for the two-time All-Star's career to end. Number 6. John Wall's heel injury. When John Wall was first drafted in 2010, he was one of the most exciting NBA picks of his time. But in the last few years, we have seen Wall struggle in the league as a result of a nasty injury. Wall's season ended due to a heel injury in December 2018.
John Wall's left Achilles tendon ruptured, and he's going to be out for at least the next 12 months.
And what followed the surgery was a nightmare. After the surgery, Wall developed an infection due to surgery complications. But that's not the whole story. John also slipped in the shower and ruptured his Achilles tendon. Ouch, that's gotta be some of the worst luck a guy could have. Ever since then, Wall struggled to be the same player, and it is all because he slipped in the shower. Crazy, right? But it gets crazier. Stay tuned for even worse injuries and hit that subscribe button if you're loving this content. Number 5. Jusuf Nurkic breaks his leg. On the 25th of March 2019, Jusuf Nurkic was having a career game against the Brooklyn Nets with a season high of 32 points and 16 rebounds. But in overtime, Nurkic went up for an offensive rebound and came down awkwardly. So awkwardly that he suffered a compound fracture of his left tibia and fibula. That's a lot of medical jargon that basically means he destroyed 2 major parts of his leg. It was such a brutal injury that Nurkic could not return to the NBA court for almost 18 months. Bummer, as many had high hopes for his NBA career. Number 4. Shaun Livingston breaks his knee. Former NBA champion Shaun Livingston almost didn't get a chance to finish his career because of one of the worst knee injuries in league history. After missing a layup, Livingston's left leg completely snapped, injuring almost every single part of his knee. His injury was so severe that Livingston had to learn to walk again.
Last time I think I had about 95 degrees of motion. Now I had like 130, so I mean I'm making progress.
That's some pretty intensive rehab. The fact that he was able to play basketball 18 months later is a miracle. Livingston somehow rebuilt his NBA career despite almost having that leg amputated. The S in Shaun must stand for superhero. Number 3. Paul George breaks his leg. Every NBA team is worried when a player is playing basketball away from the team, mainly because it increases the likelihood of injuries. Such was the case with George. Just a couple of months after signing a max extension with the Indiana Pacers, PG was playing in an intra-squad scrimmage with Team USA. In one of the games, Paul landed on the base of the basket and his leg bent backwards. Yikes, that's quite gruesome. Poor guy couldn't have seen it coming. It was awful to watch, so you can only imagine how it must have felt to experience. George suffered a compound open fracture of both bones in his right lower leg. I'm sure you're waiting to hear George's career ended. Well, it didn't. It took about 2 years for him to recover, but he made it back to the NBA. Paul is a superstar without a doubt. Number 2. Gordon Hayward almost loses his leg. Another injury that was a horrific injury to watch was Gordon Hayward's injury. Gordon played for the Boston Celtics. Just 6 minutes into his Celtics debut, Hayward suffered a fractured tibia and dislocated his left ankle.
Probably hit the biggest shot in Cavs history.
They're going up. Oh my goodness. Hayward came down so hard. Okay, Hayward broke his leg. Hayward has broken his leg. Hayward has broken his leg.
Everyone in attendance was left shocked when Hayward's ankle was pointing in the wrong direction. What made the injury even worse is that Hayward's leg collapsed underneath him. What a tragic series of events and uncanny timing. It took a year for Hayward to get back onto the NBA court, and he has never really been the same since. Number 1. Derrick Rose tears his ACL. If you talk to any NBA fan, by far the most brutal injury in league history is when Derrick Rose tore his ACL in Game 1 of the 2012 NBA playoffs. As Rose was forcing his way to the basket, he came down clutching his knee. Every single Bulls fan heart sank and every NBA fan was devastated by the injury. It was not just the severity of the injury that made the injury infamous, it was the timing.
Past the harder team in Miami Heat.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding onto his knee and down.
Rose not only missed that playoff run, but he missed the entirety of the following season. While he's still in the NBA today, Rose is nowhere near the MVP level he was before the injury. The league lost one of the most exciting players in its history. Those were the top 10 worst injuries in NBA history. You definitely don't want to miss out on the exciting content we've got on the channel. So why not subscribe and hit the notification bell as we continue to follow the NBA on Tube Talk Trophies, where we give trophies to the most trending teammates.